I want to talk for a few minutes here about herbicides and some equipment. I do have a larger sprayer that I use on the UTV or ATV, but I haven't used it in a number of years. I've really went more to spot spraying, and so what I've got here is a 4-gallon battery operated. It's got a lithium battery, and what I like about that is I don't have to spend all day pumping and things like that. And these batteries last many tanks worth, and then you can recharge it. And I just like the idea of not covering a whole field with herbicides and being more selective. So with this, I can walk around the field. I don't worry about driving over stuff, and I can spot spray. Now, obviously a farmer's not going to do this on hundreds of acres, but on a half-acre food plot or a quarter-acre food plot, to me, this is a very good system to use. And I want to talk for a few minutes about some of these herbicides. And years ago when I worked for the seed company, I went through training to be a commercial applicator. So I could had all kinds of classroom training and tests and stuff, so I could use all these different herbicides. But you see so many people reaching out, especially on social media, how much glyphosate or Roundup or 2,4-D or clethodim, all these different chemicals, and the answer is right on the label. And if you're not reading the label, and if you're going by these experts on Facebook or whatever, that's probably not the right answer. And so you need to understand your sprayer, how much it's putting out for your mixing. And with some of these things, they might do better if you added some crop oil. You can put some dye in here, so you can see what areas you've sprayed and things like that. But sometimes they need a surfactant. And so looking at the label is the best way to go, and stop relying on, what worked for somebody else. And so, these are dangerous chemicals. I consider glyphosate or generic Roundup fairly safe, but to be messing around with, too much, that's a bad answer. Too little, you can make, Roundup resistant or herbicide resistant crops or plants and weeds and such. So read the label, follow the label. If you're gonna spray, do it right. And there's things with timing with that too. It's easier to kill the younger plants than more mature plants. So generally what I like to do if I am going to be spraying herbicide is I like to mow first, wait a week or two, let the new growth take over, and then come back and spray it to terminate it. The other thing you see a lot with glyphosate or Roundup is people are like, well, how long do I have to wait to plant? And you can spray glyphosate right over your seed. It's not going to harm the seed. It only kills actively growing plants. So you can spray with glyphosate and put your seeds down the same day. Now if you're disking, that wouldn't make much sense, because if you're spraying it and then you're disking up the plants, well, they're not going to have the root kill that they need. So if you're going to be disking it, generally you'd wait a week or so, let it die, and then disc it. But then the challenge sometimes becomes when you disc it, you end up creating, and moving around even more weed seeds. But anyway, just a tip for you is maybe consider not spraying with the large equipment, going with something more selective and using less herbicide. But you do you, I'll do me, but that's the direction I've been going lately.